I've seen this pop up on some people's reactions and reviews. People complaining like, "Oh, this movie is woke because it's commenting on racism." It's like it's the 1930s in Mississippi. Okay? Not the most tolerant of places back then, right? Not the most tolerant of places now, I would say. But if you have an issue with them commenting and having racism be one of the themes that's coursing through this movie, then I don't know what to tell you. I think you're just a racist son of a bitch. You just don't want to be reminded of that. So shut the fuck up and fuck you. That's what I have to say. But the themes of community, racism, appropriation, especially in regards to what they do with the vampires, are all explored in a way that is not heavy-handed, but is actually weave the story and the characters in a natural way. One of my most anticipated movies this year has been Sinners. And that's for a variety of reasons, honestly. You know, I'm a huge horror fan, for those that don't know. I've really liked and loved a number of vampire movies over the years, over the decades. But the one that most intrigued me about this specific film was that it's a horror movie directed by Ryan Coogler, who has continued to prove himself to be one of the best filmmakers working right now. I mean, look, Coogler, in my opinion, has not made a bad movie yet. I've really enjoyed or loved all of his films. You know, from the heartbreaking true story in Fruitvale Station to Creed, which helped revitalize the Rocky franchise, to the Black Panther films. You know, introducing audiences, you know, mainstream audiences to the character of Black Panther and Wakanda in general, being a nice kind of shot in the arm to the MCU. You know, debuting such an incredible, you know, black superhero. You know, he's just been on fire for the last decade. You know, I expect quality from him, and he has delivered quality for all these years. So, you know, him dipping his toes into the horror genre just had me really excited. And I am very happy to say he knocked it out of the park with Sinners. He's delivered another banger of a film that's just exploding with style, substance, and great performances from a terrific cast. Now, if I have any criticisms, it honestly has nothing to do with the film itself. It has to do with the film's marketing. You know, I thought the first teaser trailer for the movie was great, but the second trailer gave way too much away. I did a whole video. I was originally going to react to the trailer, post it online, but I thought it gave so much away. I didn't want to spoil it for anyone that wanted to check out my reaction. And I just posted a video just kind of criticizing the trailer. Because that trailer spoiled several big and very impactful moments in the movie. That, of course, is not the fault of Ryan Coogler, obviously. Not the fault of any of the actors and anybody else that worked in the film, of course. But it is frustrating that Warner Bros. And the trailer company that put together that trailer did that. It didn't ruin the film for me, not at all. But I wish they had some fucking common sense to not give away so much. You know, but that being said, Sinners is a great film, a great horror movie that showcases the magic and wonder of genre filmmaking. You guys know I'm a huge genre film fan. For those that don't know, the film takes place in 1932 Mississippi. Jim Crow is ever present, and we have Michael B. Jordan in a dual role as two twin brothers, Smokestack, who tore through Chicago on a crime spree, who have since returned to their hometown to start a music club and bar, but they are confronted by a supernatural evil in the form of a very powerful vampire. The first thing I want to say is one of the things that I most admire about Ryan Coogler as a filmmaker is his world building. And we see that throughout many of his movies, especially the Black Panther films. Not only does he do a great job of introducing us to T'Challa's family, the idea of the Black Panther and how it's passed down, but he just does a great job of like showcasing what Wakanda is, the culture and the art and the music and its place within the world itself, its place within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he does that here for Sinners. He spends a lot of time before we get to the supernatural stuff and the vampires of it all. He spends a lot of time focusing on the world of the Mississippi Delta under Jim Crow, from the community itself to the individual characters, what their function is in this community, in this society, how they bounce off each other. He gives them time to breathe, to have their personalities come across to us, and have us as the audience get to know each and every one of them. They all have very specific personalities that come across very easily, whether it be from the main cast or the supporting cast. Everyone is getting like a really fun moment to, take, for lack of a better term or word, to bite and chew on. You have a huge cast of characters in this film. Obviously, the one that the film is really pushing in all the marketing is Michael B. Jordan, who plays Smoke and Stack, these two twin brothers who grew up in this community, who left it due to some pretty traumatic circumstances, which I won't spoil here. You'll find out in the movie itself. They went into Chicago, dealing with everyone from Al Capone to a lot of the other criminal elements there, and went on a crime spree, have come back to open up their own place, to make their mark in the world, to, in their words, to truly be free. Michael B. Jordan is such a fantastic actor. I mean, obviously, he's kind of like Ryan Coogler's muse. He's shown up in all of his movies, has always been used very, very well, whether it be as a leading man, as a villain, or as a supporting character. But here, he really showcases his abilities playing twins. And you would think, like, okay, is it going to be confusing because it's literally Michael B. Jordan? How they make that work and how they interact. Like, there's never a moment where it's like, oh, this is like a special effect. It's not a special effect that takes you out of it. It's like, no, it's just, these are just two separate characters that are just interacting with each other. There's never a moment where it's like, this kind of takes you out of it or anything. It just comes across so natural. Like, all the elements from the writing of the characters, from the camera work to the effects that they used, it all just feels so real. It's like Ryan Coogler just cloned Michael B. Jordan. And his performance is great. Like, each brother is obviously different, and not to the point where they're like wildly like exaggerate. Like, you have the character of Smoke, who is a little more analytical. He's a little more relaxed, though very intimidating. And then you of course have Stack, who's more of a wild card. He's a little more impulsive, but there's never a moment where they come across as like Looney Tunes, or for instance, like Stack being the wild card, he's like ridiculous and over the top and crazy. No, it's subtle enough in his performance where each time they focus on one of the brothers, who might even be in the same place and same time, exactly which brother it is. And it just really showcases how well the characters are written, but how great Michael B. Jordan's performance is. I thought, whether he's interacting with himself or with other characters, thought he was very, very impressive. Haley Steinfeld, who plays the character of Mary, who in the film you learn is actually an eighth black, and she has had a relationship with one of the brothers, specifically Stack, and is kind of obsessed with him throughout the movie. I think like we've always like looked at Haley Steinfeld, like obviously a tremendous actress. My first, exposure to her was in True Grit from over a decade ago. She did such a great job in that, that Coen Brothers movie, and interacting with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon. It's like, well, wonderful talent. Got her Oscar nomination, obviously. And she's, appeared in all sorts of TV shows and movies, animated roles, right? She's done a great job. But I think for like a lot of us, we still view her as And even though she's very much an adult, she's still like, oh, like a child actor. You know, she's still playing characters that might be teenagers or super early, 20s or something. Here, they are very much up in front and saying, like, no, she's an adult in this. And one of the first scenes she has, and the dialogue that she's given is like, hey, we're not being around the bush, all right? She's very much an adult. I thought that was great. And her chemistry with Michael B. Jordan is fantastic. I mean, everyone's chemistry with everybody is wonderful. There's not a weak performance in this film. But I really liked what they did with her, and obviously what happens to her later on in the film I thought was really cool, and she really relishes the role that she was given. You can tell. Thought she was great. She doesn't mind getting sweaty and nasty and dirty and goopy, as do many of the other characters. Really liked the performance. But I'll tell you what, Chad, yes, Michael B. Jordan very much being showcased, the marketing. But the biggest surprise of the film for me is an unknown actor. I think actually making their debut in this movie, and that's Miles Caton. I believe that's how you say his name, Miles Caton, who plays the cousin of Smoke and Stack, Sammy, or Preacher Boy. He's the son of a preacher. He's actually, honestly, the first character we're introduced to. I mean, so much of this movie is his story. He is the through line through this film. His character is someone who loves music, loves the guitar, wants to embrace a life, a career of music, of playing the blues and things, has a incredible talent for it that they showcase in the movie through his musical abilities and singing. He's kind of the heart of this entire film. And Coogler gives him a lot to do in this movie. And he showcases that he knows exactly what he's doing. The direction he's given, how he's written, his entire arc throughout the entire film, I thought was great. I know, listen, everyone's, praising Jordan, and another actor who I'm going to touch on just a bit, who I think is also excellent. But his performance is my absolute favorite in the movie from beginning to end. I really love what they did with him. But the other person I definitely want to praise is Jack O'Connell, who plays Remick, our vampire lord in the film, who's really not introduced until the halfway point. Again, Coogler takes his time, building this world of the Jim Crow South, of the Mississippi Delta, letting you get to know all these characters. But when fucking Jack O'Connell comes in as this Irish vampire, he is fantastic. He is incredibly charismatic, manipulative, nefarious, but at the same time, charming, which I guess is what you want with a vampire, right? You can go completely monstrous, or you can go very suave and charming. He manages to combine both. There are so many moments punctuated in this film where he showcases his savagery as a vampire. Just the effects with his teeth and the eyes. I love how they did the eyes in this movie. Is so good. And even his relation to the music in this film, which I'm going to touch on a really bit. A lot of the characters have these great musical moments. It's kind of like a musical. I think I should say that at the top. A lot of this movie is a musical. And and not in a way where it's it's like a negative or anything like that, or it's like a nasty little surprise, because all the musical numbers that they have in it are actually fantastic and incredibly well crafted. But he gets a particular musical number in this that I thought was great, and really showcases his abilities and his ability to control others, and it's connected to how Coogler handles vampirism and vampire lore. He kind of reintroduces things we don't often see in a lot of vampire movies, especially the concept of you have to invite the vampire into your home in order for them to get you, right? He plays around with that a lot in the movie to great effect, and I thought it was very, very fun. One of my favorite scenes in particular with Omar Benson Miller, who plays a character named Cornbread, who's the door attendant that Smoke and Stack hire for their juke bar. It's fantastic. It's very similar to something from one of my favorite movies, John Carpenter's The Thing, with Wilford Brimley. I was it's kind of has that same vibe. So you can kind of even see the other genre influences and elements that Coogler is taking from, but making them his own. kind of these really fun, respectful homages. But Jack O'Connell, who I've seen in many movies over the past, I guess, 15 or so years, and is a very good actor. Here, I mean, he gets to gnaw on so much of the scenery as this vampire. And they make him charming. They make him funny. There are moments where he's appealing to like a lot of these people. He's getting into and this is more like the themes of the movie and how they kind of course throughout the film about bringing up aspects of Jim Crow and the South and how unfair it is and how he's like, I can offer you all these things. I can empower you. Just let me fucking bite you. let me bite you. And it's great. Like the vampire lore in this is really, really cool, really, really interesting. And then the rest of the supporting cast is great. Wunmi Mosaku, if you don't know the name, you've definitely seen her pop up in other things. She's been in Lovecraft Country, most recently in Loki, season 1, season 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. She plays the character of Annie, who is a former lover of Smoke in this film. She's also kind of like into witchcraft. She does a great job of kind of introducing the vampire lore and the supernatural element in this movie, but at the same time having just great moments with the rest of the cast, especially Michael B. Jordan. Really loved her performance. James Lawson, she plays his character named Perline, who has kind of caught the eye of Sammy, Preacher Boy. They have some really intimate moments in the movie that are quite good. I don't know if I've seen her or anything, but she's great. She has a wonderful musical number in the film. She has a hell of a voice on her, as do many of the other actors in this. Omar Benson Miller, who you've seen him pop up in things like 8th Mile. He's been around for years. He's great as Cornbread. One of my favorite moments in the film is focusing on him. It's both terrifying, but also very funny. Love what he did. Delroy Lindo. Anytime you see Delroy Lindo, it's like, oh, it's Delroy Lindo. It's going to be great. He's just one of those actors like, oh, this guy. You just love him, right? He plays Delta Slim, and he is also a blues player, a harmonica player, a severe alcoholic who has been radically affected by the Jim Crow South and the trauma of it. And that's what's kind of fueled his alcoholism. He has so many great moments. Anytime he's on screen, it's either like a tragic moment, a really serious moment, or something that's really fucking funny. He has some of the biggest, and that's the thing. Like, this movie is punctuated by comedy a lot. It doesn't take away from the suspense or the tension. It's necessary. Like, when it comes in, it's necessary. And he has several of those moments, which I thought were really, really funny. Loved his performance throughout this. And then you have, it's a huge cast of characters. And so if I forget someone, it's not because like their performance is forgettable. It's just like there's a lot of characters in this movie. But you also have Lee Jun Lee, who plays Grace Chow, who owns this two grocery stores in Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta. One for the black people, and then one for black people and all the minorities and people of different races and ethnicities, and one for the white people, which they kind of like showcase in the film. And she's really good. I really loved her performance in the film. The other character in the movie that I think needs to be emphasized is the music. The music is a character in this movie and plays an important role in the plot. I don't want to go into too many details, but the music is what intrigues and fascinates and attracts Jack O'Connell's Remick, this vampire lord, who's been around for a very long time, right? It's like catnip for him. And so much of the music in this movie, and they play a lot of music, it's blues, jazz, soul, R&B, and some other things that are really big surprise. There's one particular sequence, and I won't want to get into any specifics for it, because I don't want to spoil it, but you'll know when it happens, where it's blending a lot of different types of music, and along with the cinematography is brilliant. It's one of the best just kind of like sequences in a film this year for me. It was incredibly well done. I mean, the cinematography across the board is gorgeous. Again, even before you get, and the lighting too, the lighting's great. It's super moody. Like a lot of oranges and yellows and of course reds, especially when we get to the latter half of the film and we're inside the bar, the juke bar that they're trying to set up. all that is beautiful and wonderful. But the cinematography across the board, from when we're just kind of showcasing these huge, fields of cotton, getting like sharecroppers and stuff, kind of like little history things they do. But all that is wonderful. In the beginning, when it's like all these beautiful sunrises and things, that's great. But then once we get into, because the first part of the movie is very open. It's very broad. We're seeing, like huge horizons and everything, but later on we get very intimate. It's like two different styles of cinematography, but they both complement each other very well. I thought it was great. Just gorgeous. And just the themes that the movie is tackling, which, let me tell you right now, if anyone's, because I've seen this pop up. I've seen this pop up on some people's reactions and reviews, people complaining like, oh, this movie is woke because it's commenting on racism. It's like, it's the 1930s in Mississippi. Okay? Not the most tolerant of places back then, right? Not the most tolerant of places now, I would say. But if you have an issue with them commenting and having racism be one of the themes that's coursing through this movie, then I don't know what to tell you. I think you're just a racist son of a bitch. You just don't want to be reminded of that. So shut the fuck up and fuck you. That's what I have to say. But the themes of community, racism, appropriation, especially in regards to what they do with the vampires, are all explored in a way that is not heavy-handed, but is actually weave the story and the characters in a natural way. They serve each other very well. And that's when people always say, like, oh, I hate messaging in movie. I hate, like, themes in movies. It's like some of your favorite fucking films, you don't even realize it, that they have these messages and themes in them. It all comes down to the craftsmanship, how they're weaved through the narrative and through the characters, okay? You can be very political in a lot of these movies, in genre films, in horror. If you're telling me that horror movies aren't political, then I don't know what the hell you've been watching all these years. You're probably just downright fucking stupid. But the way the movie does it here is great. It's not like Ryan Coogler is sitting you down being like, all right, dumb, I'm going to explain this to you. It's like, no, it makes sense, especially for the time period. So just shut the fuck up if you're complaining about that. It's a ridiculous criticism, and it just showcases how woefully ignorant and stupid you actually are. Last thing I'll say, stay through the credits. There's some nice little treats. The thing is, like, through the credit sequences, the movie's still going. They're showing scenes like what happens to certain characters, where they end up, where they don't end up, etc. And what they show, it's like, oh, I see what you're gonna do here, which I thought was really good. I really enjoyed the ending to this movie. I thought it was, yeah, it makes sense. It's great. Yeah, overall, I really don't have any issues with the film outside the marketing, which isn't the fault of Coogler or anyone else. It's Warner Brothers and the Trailer House's fault. The movie's story, I think, is great. I love its setting. I mean, it's a Southern Gothic horror film, Chad, which is just so cool. It's a home invasion movie too. So if you like that, which I certainly do, it's got that in spades for you. The music across the board is great. I was actually listening to the score as I was typing up my notes. It's Ludwig Göransson, who I think is just coming off of an Oscar win. I mean, you guys have heard his stuff before. He does such a great job in this movie, so all the praise to him. Autumn Durald Arkapaw is also the cinematographer. She does a wonderful job as well. All the performances across the board are great. Like, even if you're even if you're a tertiary character, you're gonna get a fun moment in the movie. There's a lot of that in this film. But no, Michael B. Jordan is wonderful. And Haley Steinfeld's great. Jack O'Connell as a vampire, he fucking nails it. He gets so much to play around with. But Miles Caton, I'll tell you what, that he's my favorite character in the film. And that was just such a huge surprise because I just didn't know. I mean, no one knew anything about this kid. This is his first movie, and this is a hell of a fucking debut. Pretty goddamn good, if you ask me, as Sammy, as Preacher Boy. Very impressed. I mean, he is the thorough line. He is I guess you can maybe argue Michael B. Jordan's characters are the main character. I look at him as the main character personally. With Michael B. Jordan as, close, but I really love what they ended up doing with him. But yeah, Sinners, it's a great film. It just shows you Ryan Coogler continues to fire on all cylinders. It kind of stands out. This is his first original movie in that it's not based on any pre-existing material, because Fruitvale Station was based on a tragic true story. Creed obviously is a part of the Rocky franchise. Black Panthers, both the original and Wakanda Forever, obviously it's an adaptation of the comic book character, but this is his first original story in horror, and I think he just did a great job. I mean, he's 5 for 5 for me right now, and just continues to be one of the best filmmakers out there. Personally, I feel like this movie deserves award recognition, but the powers that be, especially in a lot of these award shows and the Oscars and the Academy Awards, they're extremely, as we all know, and some people will love to deny it, but it's true. They're extremely dismissive of genre filmmaking and filmmakers and the performances and the craftsmanship that's put into these types of movies. It would be a shame if this film is kind of like forgotten later down in the year. But there's some great stuff in this movie. Some wonderful craftsmanship, and it should be recognized. And again, it just shows you how special and wonderful genre filmmaking is, and how you can always reinvigorate or bring in new ideas, scenarios, types of characters to familiar things that we've seen in the past, specifically vampires. It's a really, really great movie that I highly recommend. Probably my favorite this year, next to Companion, which also happens to be another genre film. So, yeah, I couldn't praise it more. Check it out, chat. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like it as much as I did? Were you mixed on it, or did you downright hate it? Were you like one of the people like, it's woke? Were you one of those fucking losers? Let me know.
5 minutes later.
Oh man. Oh, Slayer Blade shows up. Techno music starts playing. I'll tell you what. Apparently, Ryan Coogler, he pitched an idea for a Blade movie to Marvel, and they ended up passing. And, well, we know what the current state of the Blade movie is. It hasn't happened yet, if at all. And if I was Marvel, if I was Disney, and I just saw this movie, I'd be like, fuck. Fuck. Right? Man. They made a mistake. Like, I'll tell you what, if after seeing this, I'd be like, oh, I would love to see what Ryan Coogler would do with Blade. Something really cool. Make it a period piece. And they would have been, it's probably what he suggested, make it a period piece. And they didn't want to do that. But that would have been really cool. Really, really cool. And just the time period, like just how accurate it all looks and feels. Like, it feels like you are in the 1930s fucking South. It's scary. It's really good. It's really good. Let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, man. Slayer's like, oh, it's woke. That's it. I'm out. Just I was losing my mind during the Preacher Boy sequence. I could have cried. Yeah, it's a great. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but it's very well done. It's very well done. It's 1930s. It's going to be racist as hell during that. I know. And that's what's. But you have these fucking people that are coming out. We're saying like it's like, what do you find? It's the Jim Crow South. Like at that point, it's like you just say you don't like fucking black people. Just say it. All right. Just like let's stop. I would respect you more if you just admitted it. Oh man. Jim Crow era political? No way. Woke yeah, I bet those internet just going to woke pyres, fucking woke pyres. Oh, I know BioShock. I mean, yeah, very political. Oh man. Thank you, Crazy Crazy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the applause. Chris, they're probably the same dumbass you complain about the feminist themes and the substance. Sure. Sounds incredible. I can't wait seeing it tomorrow. Yeah, I hope I didn't overhype it for anybody. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It just, I want to see it again. I actually want to go see it again. It's just hard with my schedule, but if I can check it out, maybe I'll check it out this weekend after work. But yeah, Blade shows up, techno music starts playing. There was a moment where I'm like, is Blade gonna help them? There's a sequence where I think this is when Blade is needed. Question I have is, did you see Blade in it? I wish. I mean, that's the thing. If I was Marvel right now, if I was Disney, I would have been like, fuck, maybe we should do his idea. Because I don't know what the state of that film is, if anything. But man, that would have been really interesting if you want to do like a Blade movie, but it's set in like the 1930s South. That sounds, and you know what? Maybe that's why, because it would be like political in that way, because it would be commenting on the society of that time, and he's just like, but it would have been so cool. Is it sweaty? Oh my God, yeah, it's sweaty. I'll tell you what, it's nasty. It's nasty. Everyone's sweating in this movie. Everyone's sweating in this movie, and there's spit and spittle. Listen, even before they're vampires, there's stuff with spit and spittle. I'm just like, all right, let's take it easy. It's a sweaty, stanky movie. Michael B. Jordan, I think, even says is Stack. He says, "You guys all want to sweat until you stank." They're like, "Yeah," and I bet it stinks in that barn, no question about it. Oh man, that warehouse. Oh,